Guys, welcome to the Caring for Creatures show. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you for joining us. On Thursday, we appreciate you watching the program. We spotlight Caring for Creatures, which is Central Virginia's first no-kill animal sanctuary for more than 30 years. Mary Birkholz and her team in Fluvanna County have taken the most at-risk animals up and down the eastern seaboard, welcomed them to Central Virginia and to Caring for Creatures for a second shot at life, a third shot at life, a fourth shot at life, whatever it may be, and an opportunity to find their forever home through their very experienced and exclusive and very thought-out matchmaking process. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Judah, if you could go to the two-shot and welcome Mary to the show. Good afternoon, Mary.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How
Good.
are you?
I'm doing well. You had fun on Monday.
I did.
At the Dual Chef Showdown.
At the Dual Chef Showdown.
Okay.
It was great fun. And as always, the food is like so awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. And you feel very powerful because you can vote.
Right.
For what course you liked, but you don't know who did what. So it's a secret until kind of the very end. As it turns out, Chris Humphrey of Fellini's, and that was after both the 6 p.m. and the 8 p.m. seating, he ended up getting the most votes. So he moves on into the final,
right,
which I think is sometime in maybe October.
Okay.
I don't know a date
He's going to face Kit for Monsoon.
Yep. So it should be good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we're grateful to have benefited from it. So thank you to Jackie and everyone over at Tin Whistle.
What was your favorite dish?
They do a great job. Oh, God, I had pictures. I think of you.
Okay,
of
good.
all your great food pictures. And I didn't send them because they're not as good as yours.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, I would say, gosh, it's hard. I would say the one, and I'm not sure which chef it was, but the appetizer I liked.
Okay.
And the appetizer and the dessert. I liked all of them. All of them were great. But everybody seemed to ooh, at least at the table I was at, oohed and awed a lot about those two options, saying, if I could order that in a restaurant, I would. So it was fun.
Were you
It was a lot of
surprised
fun.
that Chris won, or did Chris have your vote?
I was not surprised for whatever reason.
Uh-huh.
And the very first time rather, I went to one of these dinners. You have to turn in your piece of paper where you have the
left
menu
before the
stuff.
final, the results.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
time, right?
I was at the early. I was at the early one both times.
Oh, both times. Okay.
So I didn't know, but there is a winner after the 6 p.m. So, and then they tell you, at the end. So, but the way it turned out, I voted when they told us who did which side, left side, right side plates. And it ended up being, I voted for more of Chris's dishes than the other one. But they were both good, And so I appreciate everything they did to make that happen. It was a lot of fun. So
and you
if
got
you
a
get the
donation.
Chance,
it was a win-win for everybody.
It was win-win for everybody, the animals especially.
Good.
So we're very grateful. So let me just continue on by saying a thank you to Charlottesville Veterinary Hospital, one of our sponsors, and they are continuing to do a summer food drive. So please feel free to take cat, kitten, dog, puppy food over there and any other supplies. They are benefiting both Caring for Creatures and the Fluvanna SPCA, so it's important work, and we'd be grateful for your help. Pet Supplies Plus, also in Charlottesville, is another sponsor. They are continuing on their Redford Naturals campaign, which is wonderful. Redford Naturals does both, they do canned and dry, but this is for the dry food, dog or cat. You pick up a 5-pound or larger bag for Caring for Creatures. When you go to checkout, whatever else you're buying for your animals, you get a 10% discount off of everything. And they'll hold the food for us and we pick it up. So that's a great deal for you, and it really helps us a lot too. Happy Tales over in Fluvanna County, another great pet food and supply location for those in Fluvanna County, and I recommend you pay a visit. They're knowledgeable and friendly folks over there. Let's sponsor an animal, but actually let's feature a couple of our animals. We have a kitty and a dog.
Okay.
Tango
Tango
is a female, and Betsy, you would probably know this too. She's an orange tabby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that common to have orange tabbies that are females.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one, and her name is Tango.
Okay.
She was trapped from a colony not too far away, and very, very frightened. She came in with another orange tabby, female, which was interesting, Mango. And Mango was adopted, is doing well, but they were so frightened. And volunteers and staff worked with them, and Tango's doing great. Friendly, and beautiful orange tabby girl. She's about a year old right now.
Okay.
And ready to roll into a home. So vetted
Fantastic.
and everything.
She's on screen. She's gorgeous.
Okay, she is very pretty. And then Harley is a dog.
Okay.
Harley we pulled from a high kill facility. He's a extremely handsome, guess for yourself, but we're calling him a lab shepherd mix.
Okay.
Probably about 5 years old. But he's got plenty of get up and go, got lots of energy, loves to play. But then at the same time, he can be laid back.
Okay.
And a couch potato.
Best of both.
Best of both worlds, and he's healthy and ready to go into his new home
I
as
totally
well.
see the shepherd lab.
Yeah.
Shepherd coloring and maybe that lab head.
Yeah, it's hard to know. He likes to run and chase things,
Okay.
so and retrieve. So maybe that's the lab part coming out. What else do we have for you, Gold? A couple of events. August 31st. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
1 to 3 p.m. Albemarle Veterinary Healthcare Center is hosting another of their Yappy Hours. This one is a little different timing, 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday at 852 West Main Street, which is formerly World of Beer.
Okay.
They're going to be out there. They're going to be selling raffle tickets.
Is it now Jefferson
Is
Ale
it?
House?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's Jefferson
Is
Ale
it?
House.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
So it's no
they're going to be
longer,
out there.
you're kind of breaking some news here. Is it no longer called World of Beer?
Apparently not, because
Yeah.
they've told me it's formerly World of Beer.
Yeah, I'm pretty
so
sure it's Jefferson
yeah.
Ale House. Okay,
All right,
interesting.
so that's where they're going to be. So go
Okay.
check it out.
Okay.
Buy some raffle tickets because you could win some veterinary services at their hospital and help CFC at the same time. That'd be good. You also can bring toys, pet food, supplies, and they'll gather those up and get them over to Caring for Creatures. On Sunday, September 8th, we have a barbecue fundraiser in Scottsville
Ooh.
at the Farmers Market Pavilion.
Okay.
This is our second year for this. Buddy's Banging Q. He's a regular barbecue guy and lives in Scottsville. He actually adopted one of our puppies. He offers this up as a fundraiser for CFC. He provides all the food. And it's a donation. There's no set price. You give a donation, whatever you feel, for your plate of food. There's some other service organizations that'll have tables. We'll have some animals. It really was a fun day last year. The one difference this year, because I asked about whether we could get a vegetarian option for a lot of our supporters and animal folks are vegetarians, and he's doing that. He said, actually, I've been working on a vegetarian option for barbecue. So he's going to have some of that available for that day, too. So that should be fun. And then the last you'll hear about more as we move forward. September 29th is Dog Fest over at Ix Park.
Yes.
Animal Connection.
And Patty and I
Patty's.
were in the radio studio this morning recording the commercial
Oh, good.
for radio, and the TV commercial is filmed
good.
on Monday.
Yay.
So you're going to be there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. It's always a fun event. Huge numbers of folks and animals, and it's just fun.
We
It's
have some comments coming in, and this topic we will bring up. This is from Rose, and she asked that we pool our efforts and do what we can on the show to find Izzy, the missing tabby, from Pet Paradise and the fire on Sunday. Rose says, I know our community can bring this baby home. Please help spread the word. And she also says that older dogs rock bypass the puppy chewing and the lost shoes and go straight to the snuggles of the
Yes.
older dogs.
Absolutely.
You have some props from Krista Colleen
Oh, Krista.
Petzold.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, I'm
Hi,
watching
Krista.
from New York.
Yay.
I miss you guys. I'm spreading CFC's mission with my campus and starting to plan my annual birthday fundraiser for CFC in just a couple months. Hope Tango and Harley find their forever homes. They both seem like gems. And she
Perfect.
gives you the heart emoji.
We miss you too, Krista.
So, Pet
All
Paradise,
right,
Charlottesville.
yeah, Pet Paradise. Actually, thank you, Rose. It was going to be my next topic that I wanted to bring up. Most of you may know of the tragic fire that occurred earlier this week at Pet Paradise. Sunday wasn't the exact date. It's all a blur. What a horrific situation. I probably don't know all of the details, but there was 70 plus animals at risk in the facility, and sadly, very sadly, there were at least 2 I'm aware of that did not survive. One got loose, ran off, and was found deceased. And the other one, I believe, died from complications from probably smoke inhalation. It just broke my heart. There, I believe, were 2 cats initially out. One was retrieved. One, a tabby, is still out there.
Izzy.
And Izzy is the kitty's name. It makes me so sad. I know how freaked out these animals get when they're afraid. Please, please, please keep your eyes open around the area. The kitty could be quite some distance away. But overall, just all of us at Caring for Creatures and in general, the animal rescue family, extend our heartfelt compassion and thoughts to those who lost their animals, and for those whose animals are still in the recovery process. We send a lot of positive thoughts your way. Also, let's not forget about Izzy. Let's keep thinking about her and keep looking for her. She needs to get home. So, and kind of connected here, Betsy Ballenger with Kat was over at the site the evening of the fire and has helped to not let her fill in some things that, she experienced and what she did as well.
We also echo Mary's sentiments at I Love CVille. We welcome Betsy Ballenger to the program, a realtor, and also from Cat Action Team. Another question's just come in now, and I don't think we have this answer, but you may know more than I do. Sage Bauer, have there been any sightings of Izzy? I don't think there have been.
As of yesterday, no. No, there hasn't been. She could be anywhere, and there's a lot of brush around where the fire was, and she escaped. So until there's a sighting, it will be difficult to know where she might be. I've loaned traps, and they still have my traps, the staff at Pet Paradise, and they have teams going out dawn and dusk looking for her and calling her. But until we have a sighting of her, it's going to be hard to know. You can set a trap
cats
anywhere.
can hide in plain sight.
Yeah.
And they won't respond when they're
Yeah.
all freaked out.
And
So
she's a
it's-
tabby, a short-haired tabby. There's photos of her on Facebook and all over town.
I mean, it's on the news.
Yeah.
The radio is in print. I mean, it's a bummer story.
It's sad. But I'm quite convinced she'll turn up. It's just a question of how long.
Right.
Right, and when. Okay, well, we will follow this story closely and try to update you here on all our shows. It certainly hits close to home. As having 2 dogs myself, I look at them as family members and not as animals.
That's right.
So we will pivot and switch gears and talk about Betsy Ballenger. Who is Betsy Ballenger?
Well, where to begin? I moved to Virginia in 2012.
All right.
But I have moved around, and everywhere I have been involved in cat rescue.
Good for you.
So I was born in Michigan, and my mother was on the board of the local Humane Society, and we had cats and dogs always growing up. And then I moved east and lived in Connecticut and New York, and I became very good friends with a woman in Connecticut, and we started our own cat rescue group, and I was the one who did the trapping mostly. And then I moved to California in 2004.
Wow.
And I got involved I started up a group there, and just trapping neuter release called TNR is kind of the accepted program for catching feral cats and getting them fixed so they don't have more kittens born into a life of misery. San Francisco has a wonderful SPCA and Maddie's Fund, and there's a lot of like-minded people out there. I lived in a little town just south of there, Pacifica, so there's a pier there that goes out into the ocean, and we called them the Pacifica Pier Cats because they'd hang around the fishermen out on the pier. But they were scroungy, awful kitties, so we were getting them fixed. And then I moved here, as I said, in 2012, and immediately got involved with a local rescue group. And then, as it turned out, just about exactly a year ago, a cat action team was formed with the same volunteers who had been doing TNR for a long time. And that old program came to an end by mutual agreement, and we took over. And we started really late August, early September. So we're sort of having an anniversary here. And our main programs of Cat Action Team are the Trap, Neuter, Return, which TNR, the Foster Adopt program, which when we're out trapping, we often find kittens, and rather than putting the kittens back, we socialize them. We take them in, we find foster homes for them, and socialize them and adopt them out. And occasionally there's a friendly stray who has wandered in or been dumped, and we do the same with that. We're not a shelter, so we have to rely on foster homes. And then our other program is what we've started to call pet retention. We have food drives, and some of our fundraising is devoted to raising food for people who are feeding colonies out of the goodness of their hearts, but really can't afford it. Mm-hmm. So we help them where we can, and we have food drives at different food stores all over town, usually one a month. And then the last program is what we call kind of a catch-all as education. Like this would fall under that, or going to tabling events or that kind of thing to get the word out. We have a brochure that we put in vet offices and around that explains what we do.
You're active on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
You're making quite a positive, merry, and impact to the community.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you kidding? Unbelievable. I was so excited to get to know Betsy and what she's doing because it's so critical.
Yeah.
The numbers of cats out there, is amazing. And we've been assisted by Cat. We have a couple volunteers who connected with Betsy, and they do the trapping. And we've collected some from over there at Zion's Crossroads.
Yeah.
We've taken cats from there for years as I can. So what Cat is doing, Cat Action Team is super, and maybe you can, if someone has a colony, let's say, or just all these cats all of a sudden. It's never really all of a sudden, but there it is. What do they do if they call you? How do you help? How do you?
Okay, we either get a phone call or an email, or sometimes a Facebook message, and we find out their address, their phone number, their name, how many cats they're talking about. Are they friendly? Are they being fed? It all depends. Also, I should say, we're very ambitious. We cover 12 counties, which,
Wow.
but we also work with all the different other rescue organizations like Mary's Caring for Creatures or the SPCAs or the local shelters or the local humane societies. So to say that we're doing 12 counties, we're not doing it
Sure.
alone.
Right.
Right.
We're working together. So then once I know, and right now it's mostly me, but I'm recruiting some trappers in different counties. The goal is to have a chief in each county, and I pass it along to them. It could be Madison County, it could be Fluvanna. Sometimes it's me. I go out and figure out how many cats they have and loan them traps. What we like the best is if they can trap and transport themselves. We show them how to do it. We loan them the traps. Here's one.
We have a trap on stage.
Yes.
Cheetah,
This is-
give us some instructions here. I'd love
Yeah.
to get the trap
Okay.
in action.
This-
Let him go to the camera here, but we got a demo. And this is a stuffed animal kitty.
Yeah.
What is the name of this fabulous kitty right here?
Leo. and he's not even a lion.
Did you
so-
come up with that on the spot?
No. It was a Christmas present.
Betsy, you got some folks watching before we get to it. Sage Bauer says, I'm from Michigan too, Betsy. Candy Lilly, who's come on this program,
Candy,
one of your
yeah.
friends.
That's
Thank
right.
you,
Knows
Betsy,
Betsy, yeah.
for helping us with the vital life-saving efforts to spay neutered cats in our community. You are a miracle worker. That's
Thank you,
from
Sage.
Candy. Show us yours. Show us this trap here.
Well, okay, this is a kitten trap, so I brought this because it's a little smaller and easier to work with, and I've already set it by putting that door up. So the food goes in this end.
Okay.
I should have had a little bowl here, but imagine a plate of nice, smelly, fishy tuna fish, or I also have lately had luck with fried chicken, and I joke about it. They're southern cats. So,
Yeah, well, why
you know.
not?
So you put that here, and the cat, it helps if it's hungry. And when you're teaching people to trap, it's very hard. Some of these people say, oh, but they'll be hungry if I don't feed them. And I said, well, if you feed them, they won't go in the trap, so don't feed them. So the cat wanders in here, and the food is here. So finally it gets in here. It steps on this plate here. I'm not seeing this. Steps hard. I tested this before.
Here we go. One more down. There you go. And it's trapped.
And
we
it's
got it.
trapped.
And it's trapped very humanely. It's not painful.
There's really no way they
Right.
can get hurt. And
Right.
sometimes if they thrash around, they may
Yeah.
scratch their nose a little bit, but that's the extent of it. And then you put a towel over it, and you put it in your car,
Got
and you
your
take
handle
it to,
right here.
Yeah, got the handle.
And then you go where you need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it works.
How many
And-
traps do you have?
Well, that's part of my job, and it's kind of funny, but we have about 120 traps.
Get out.
Yeah, and
you.
I've made it my job to keep track of them all, and it's so difficult. As good as I am
How do you do
about
that?
it. Well, I have a list,
Yeah?
and I write when I loan it out, and
You just need an Excel spreadsheet.
yeah, I do. Well, that's what it's on,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
what it's on. And anyway, so it's just hard. And then you kind of forget because somebody says, well, I still have one more cat. So you leave it there, and suddenly you realize it's 3 months later, and they've still got the traps. And then you have to call them. Anyway, you've got to keep track of the traps. And then I also want to mention and thank all the clinics and vets that we work with because they give us reduced rates. And that's one of the reasons these cats don't get spayed and neutered to begin with is because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And so we work a lot with the Charlottesville Albemarle SPCA clinic and various vets. I wish I had more vets. I was horrified when James River Animal Hospital closed in Scottsville because we have a lot of people down there in southern Fluvanna and Buckingham,
Right.
and now there's nowhere. But who else? Orange Vet, Vets on Airport Road in
Big time.
Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, there's a 10 or 12 vets, and also in Augusta and Anacira over there. So they really make it a lot easier for us. And then we raise money and pay for the vet bills.
Jane Whitmore, Betsy, and the cat crew do great work for our community. Deborah Sack is giving you some props. Brittany Cass-Stevens, which is on your team.
Yes.
Real estate team.
Yes.
Is watching right now.
Great.
Eliza Kaufman-Gross also watching right now.
Yes.
Mary, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking that if there's any way you can support Betsy and the cat team, please do. Whether it's through a food donation, a monetary donation, volunteer. Be one of those people who can transport or can. I'm sure you have any number of tasks that you need a human to help you out. Fostering.
Yeah.
It's always labor intensive. Working with animals is labor intensive. And so if you have some hours to give every week or month, certainly I know we can use them, and I know so can Cat and any other facility you might live near. Everyone. If it's animals, everyone can use your help. So there's no shortage of opportunities out there.
That's right.
But I feel as though this has gained some traction. TNR, when I first started caring for creatures, it's like, animal control was not in support of it, and you can't do that, and et cetera, et cetera. And we get people, even a little bit to this day, not as much, calling us saying, you know what, I have about 35 cats here, and I just can't afford to feed them anymore. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Here's another one. So
remember that statistic, Candy, if you're still watching, Candy Lily, if you're still watching, if you could put that statistic in the comment section about cats.
Oh, how many cats can be reproduced?
Right, if they're not spayed
you might
or
know
neutered.
it.
Yeah.
There's so many different figures
Little
out there, but they
different
say
versions,
one
but it's
unspayed
huge.
cat can have as many as 4 litters a year, and if the average is 4 kittens, I mean, you can just
multiply
it's
it out.
Thousands.
Yeah,
it's thousands.
Yeah.
And then they just live a miserable life.
Yeah.
And you're right. In the beginning, there was a lot of resistance to it, but people are getting Alley Cat Allies, the
Yes.
national organization, has done wonders getting the word out. And then you still have the folks that say, well, I'll get the females done, but the males, it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the problem, because
Drives
the
me
males
crazy.
the males wander.
Yeah, yeah.
So if there aren't any,
What's the thinking with that?
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it's just an interesting. But people are getting it. They're getting it. And what I love is this new group is dedicated. It used to be the old group really just wanted to do TNR. That was where they thought they could make the most get the most bang for their buck, and that's very true. And I don't. But when you're the person that's out there trapping and you see a cat that's sick, it has ear mites, or it has a wound, an abscess, or you see a little kitten, you got to help them.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We bring those cats in, even if we put them back out. If we get them some antibiotics or clean out their ears and give them some flea medicine and put them back, and there's a colony caretaker looking after them, I don't see how you could leave those animals behind.
When did you fall in love with cats in the first place?
Oh, I think probably my first cat was my family cat. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And when I was born, the cat was 3 years old, and she lived to be 20.
Get out.
Yeah,
Wow.
and when I was at a horse show, I used to show horses, and I remember my mother coming to watch and talking to my trainer, and they were shaking their heads and looking, and they let her go and have her round, and I came out, and then they told me that the cat had died. So I was 17, and the cat was 20, and my trainer wouldn't let my mother tell me before I went, because I'd be so upset. And the cat's name was Fudgy.
Fudgy.
So, but I've always had cats. I had cats in college, in my dorm with me, because they had a pet dorm.
What college is
That's
that?
unique.
Vassar, very
Wow.
very liberal,
Exclusive.
progressive,
Yeah.
progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that cat was a wonderful cat. And then once I moved to Connecticut and had my friend there with a cat group, I started fostering. And
Where'd
I
you
have
move in Connecticut?
northwest corner, Litchfield County.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really right on the border of New York,
Right.
Dutchess County. It's really pretty up there.
Yeah.
So, and I have fosters now that I would like to kind of put a word out for.
Please.
Please. We
Well-
have a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two that I am fostering right now and would love to find homes for, actually would like to keep this. I've never been a failed foster, but this one's really tempting. Came from Fork Union,
Okay.
right across from the military academy, right on that busy
Fuma?
road.
Yeah.
We brought her in to be spayed at SPCA, and they called me and they said her tail something terrible's happened. We're going to have to amputate. So I said, okay, go ahead and amputate. Then they called me about an hour later when they were doing the amputation and opened her up for the spay. She had pyometria, which is an infected uterus, and they said it was really bad, and they weren't sure she was going to make it, but they did what they needed to do, and I took her in because obviously she was supposed to go back, but I couldn't. Obviously, she had to recover. And she's turned into a complete love bug. She's black, she's short-haired, she's on the small side. Her name is Black Dahlia. And unfortunately, she is FIV positive. And I shouldn't really say unfortunately, because we've all come in this business to understand that it's not really that bad. It
No,
just
it's
means
not a
their
death sentence.
immune
Yes.
system is
Exactly.
compromised.
It's very common.
Yeah.
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 And it is but we always feel we have to tell people. And then I ended up getting another cat from that colony who had kittens. That's Dahlia. Yeah, hard to get a good picture of her, but
Yeah.
she's just a sweetheart. She chirps. You can pick her up. She's great. And then the other kitten from her colony is an orange female.
Oh,
Okay.
See, there's a thing
Yeah,
with that
it-
happening these days.
Yeah, and her name is Ginger Snap. So it'd be kind of nice if they went together, but they don't have to. They don't have to.
Okay.
And we've got lots of kittens for adoption. And Thor is also in foster. We helped this young woman. She rescued him. He had a bent front paw that had healed badly from something. And she took it to the vet, but she really didn't know how she was going to pay for it. So we helped with that with Woodworth Vet. And she has him back, but he needs a permanent home.
We have a good question for you. Mm-hmm. This is a tough question.
Okay.
Okay. So this is coming from Krista. And Krista is watching. I'm going to scroll back up. I know she said this earlier. But Krista says, I have a question for you ladies. I am part of a club here at my college, and we are currently caring for a colony of 12 cats. We have started a TNR program, Trap Neuter Release, for those that just tuned in. And we have been successful with 11 cats.
Good
But we
job.
have one who is being a little not listening to us. Okay. One of the students at our school did not know about Trap Neuter Release and thought the cat was hurt, and he let the cat out, and now the cat will not go back in the trap. We're trying everything, every food, sticky food, yummy food. We've gotten raccoons in the trap.
Yeah.
but
Wait till
not
you get a
this
skunk.
particular
That's
Yeah,
cat.
yeah.
I've
How
got
do we get this
skunks.
cat? Is what she wants to know.
Well,
good question, Krista.
Very good question. So I would say he needs to be hungry. So I don't know if you're feeding, you may have to withhold food from everybody, and they'll live. You've tried different kinds of foods, so that's good. I don't know if you've tried covering the trap. I don't know that that makes a lot of difference, but it might. Also, this trap here is the Kitten Trap. The regular trap is a little bit bigger, and there's also a much bigger.
I was going to say, I wonder
Yeah.
about trying. I don't know if a dog trap would be too big and too difficult to trigger.
I have
but-
about 5 of the larger
Yeah.
traps, and I use them for sometimes really big tomcats,
Yep.
so they don't feel so confined. And then if you can get close to them, there's something called a drop trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which really works.
Yeah.
If you can, well, you don't even really need to get that close. It's like, I used to say it's like an old Wile E. Coyote cartoon. It's literally a box made out of screen, and you prop it up on a stick, and you put the bowl of food in, and when they go, and it's tied to a string, and when they go in, you yank the string, and it drops. And there's a little trap door that you put one of these cages up against, and you have to herd him into this so you
Right,
can
right, right.
transport him. I don't know where where Krista is,
see. I
but
can
we
find
could
that out.
loan her.
New York.
Oh, she's in
She's
New York?
in New
Oh,
York.
she's
Yeah.
in New York.
Might be
Yeah.
tough to loan her that, whatever.
Well, she should ask some local rescue
sure.
groups. They might have one that she could borrow.
How much is a trap?
These traps are the kitten trap is probably about 65. The bigger
That's not
traps are
cheap.
85. No, it's
Yeah.
a big investment.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
money.
you have 120 of them?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
That's why
Yeah.
I have to keep such
Do you have a
careful
storage
track.
unit?
Right now, they're under my deck, covered with tarps, and that's a goal of ours: is to rent a storage unit when we have the funds to put our traps and our food in there.
Good for you. Tom Powell from Take It Away Sandwich Shop. Thank you for watching. Wendy Keller Harper says this is absolutely awesome.
Wendy's great. She's one of our best supporters.
I can tell her passion and her commitment to the animals.
Absolutely. Yeah. It shines right through.
It does.
And yeah. If I wasn't doing what I was doing, I always feel like I would have been someone who would manage a feral cat colony. The feral cats, the true ferals, not just someone's companion that they dumped and kind of went crazy wild to survive, but the true ferals, I find them really magnificent.
Yeah.
Not
Why is
only
that?
in their look, there's a wisdom about them, and there's an eloquence and a I don't need you sort of energy going on. But
A little bit of
if
Darwinism.
I pay attention to you or get anywhere near you, you know you're in my crowd. You're
Yeah.
in the in crowd.
Yeah.
And there's just something very satisfying. They're interesting to watch. The only times that it makes me sad, which maybe is another topic a little bit, is shelter for folks, who are feeding a colony. They do need some shelter, and how do you keep the food away from the possums and the raccoons? And maybe you don't.
Well, actually, we have a shelter building event every year.
Oh, good.
PetSmart up in Hollymead collects the styrofoam coolers that the tropical fish come in all year, saves them for us, and we have a little event right around National Feral Cat Day in October.
Good.
We cut circles out and we stuff them with straw and we tape them closed and we give them to people for their
Perfect.
for their colonies. And you can make feeding stations out of those too. But I just wanted to say, you reminded me, Terry Smith, who's with the Orange County Humane Society and is somebody I work with a lot, her email signature is "Love the Feral Soul."
Oh.
And
yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
liked that. I wanted to
That is
steal
neat.
it.
Yeah.
But it's true. They
Yeah.
they have a spirit about them.
Yeah, they do.
You have done a great job. You filled
Thank you.
47 minutes.
Wow.
How
Didn't
about
seem like that.
I
How
know.
about Candy? Oh, here's the statistic.
Okay.
One cat and its offspring can have somewhere in the ballpark of 420,000 kittens in just 7 years.
Yeah.
It's
That's crazy.
astounding.
I was going to say 400, but I thought
It's
I don't want to
huge.
say it.
I think
Yeah.
we should say
Yeah.
that again. One cat and its offspring can have somewhere in the ballpark of 420,000 kittens in 7 years.
If they all
If
live.
they survive,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who, what, when, where, why? One more time of cat.
Cat Action Team,
Yes.
based in Charlottesville, but covering 12 counties in Central Virginia, does trap, neuter, return to decrease the suffering of the cats out there that have been dumped by humans who either couldn't or wouldn't take care of them. Them, I should say.
And how can we get involved?
We need fosters, people to foster the kittens and the strays until we can get them adopted. We need barn homes for strays that need to be moved for whatever reason. We need donations. We have a website, catactionteam.org. We have a Facebook
And
page.
Instagram. I'm on it right now.
And
There's a lot of
Instagram.
cute cats on here.
And so donations come to our food drives, which we publicize once a month.
You have a
We've-
super cool logo.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
walked into an advertising agency, so I often notice logos first.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I really like, as I said before, the woman, I asked a friend of mine, and that was the first thing she came up with, and I think it's wonderful. what else can I say? I think that kind of covers it. Just
Yep. Do you have resources
Oh.
on your website, information?
actually lots of
Yeah.
good
Okay.
info on the website. I know what I was going to say. We are going to be at the Dog Fest at Ix Park
Nice.
too, and I've
Me
told her
too.
she really needs to rename it, Pet Fest or Animal Fest or something. And
How did she respond to that?
well, she kind of said they were thinking about it. So also, Scottsville is having the River Festival Day on September 14th, and Cat Action Team is going to be the beneficiary
Very
of the
good.
proceeds for the concert, which runs from 6 to 9. So that's September 14th, and the X Park. So, but we try and get out there and get the word out so people know.
You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Seriously. Catactionteam.org.
Yes.
Catactionteam.org.
Yep.
Mary Birkholz, the final word is always yours.
Well, I thank you, Betsy, for everything that you do and your team
Thank you
does.
for having me.
For everyone out there who helps ferals, my heart goes out to these cats. So, if the thought comes into your brain, oh, if I'll feed it, it'll stay, just erase that. Put some food out for these animals and call Cat Action Team and get some help in getting the kitty into a safe spot. But help an animal in need whenever you can. And
Absolutely.
we're grateful to all who do that.
I love it.
So-
I love it. You did a great job. Guys, we will archive this show on caringforcreatures.org. Help Caring for Creatures, please. Go to their website, click donate. We will archive this show on ilovecville.com. We will turn it into an iTunes podcast today. And we will promote the Caring for Creatures show for every show we do each week, for the next 17, on 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, an e-newsletter that goes out to 108,000 inboxes every day, and across iTunes and ilovecville.com. Mary Birkholz and Caring for Creatures are Central Virginia's first no-kill animal sanctuary, and they're located right here in our backyard in Fluvanna County. Support them. Support all the rescue groups in the community. I'm Jerry Miller, and it's the Caring for Creatures show on the I Love CVille Network. Enjoy your afternoon. Hey. You did awesome.
Thank you.
You did so well.
Well, my husband's an actor, and I used to get so nervous doing this stuff, and I've gotten to the age where it's just like,
Yeah.
it is
so
like
good.
it is what it is.
And you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.